Welcome back to the REI Marketing Weekly. It's your host, Josh Culler with Culler Media. And man, am I excited about today's episode. I've got one of my good friends, a client of mine as well, and just absolutely outstanding human being, one of my favorite people on the planet, Mr. John Martinez on the line today. John, what is going on, my friend? How you doing?
Man, not much. Happy to be here. Always happy to chat, especially, I do a ton. We were talking about before we got on here, especially lately. I've been doing a ton of these webinars and podcasts and things like this. This is one, and I like them. I enjoy them. It's one of my favorite things to do because you kind of go with the flow.
Right.
You don't have to think a lot about it. It comes naturally to me. But out of all of them, I love marketing and talking about that because that's really been a passion of mine the last couple of years.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's absolutely incredible at it too. I mean, if you take a look, I know sometimes he'll open up and show people like his Facebook ad funnels and that kind of thing. Just like absolutely incredible mind when it comes to marketing. And one of the things that was funny that I asked John this before we started recording, and I said, and for those of you who are listening, whether you're listening, when this episode comes out or a year from now, or whatever, we're recording this during the week of one of the coronavirus things going on. So John's been on tons of webinars and live feeds and stuff like that people have asked him to be on to talk about sales stuff. And I asked him directly, I was like, John, what is something that you haven't talked about this week that we could have you talk about on the show here? So this is going to be, I know we're recording it at this time, guys, but this is going to be relevant no matter what time of the year it is. So we're not going to specifically direct this to this whole, coronavirus fiasco going on. Obviously, we've had John on the show before a while back. One of the first guests that we had talking about how sales and marketing kind of relate with each other. But on this episode, we're going to be talking a lot about content marketing and the purpose of it, how you can leverage it in your active real estate investing business. And those of you who know me, I'm massive on content marketing. That's what my business is and does. We've done a lot of it for John and his business as well.
Yep.
And so that's what we're going to talk about. And John's going to talk about how to leverage it, what kind of messaging to put in, that kind of stuff. And it's going to be a great show. So make sure you guys pay attention and listen. But before we jump into it, I do want to bring it up to you guys. REI.video is live right now. John is actually, not John, but Amanda has actually used our platform. And it's a brand new platform, REI.video, where you can film your own videos, whether it's on your phone, camera, or whatever, and send that over to REI.video. The raw footage you can add, you can have us add, closed captions, video wrappers, titles, music, all kinds of crazy stuff to the videos. We'll produce it, do the heavy lifting for you, send it back in less than 48 hours, and you get unlimited revisions with that. So you get exactly what you're looking for in the video, whether you're doing property walkthroughs, testimonial videos, educational, informational stuff for your website, doesn't matter. Just send that on over. If you use coupon code FIRSTVID at checkout, you will get 50% off your first order. So make sure you take advantage of that. Again, REI.video, take advantage of it, go check it out, and that'd be awesome. So John, let's go ahead and jump into the topic for today. First thing I actually want you to do for the 1% of people that don't know who you are that's listening to this right now, do me a favor and introduce yourself. So who you are, what you do, and how long you've been doing all that.
Yeah. So I have a sales training business targeted towards real estate investors, acquisition agents, any part of their teams really that do any selling. We're seeing a lot more dispositions people and so forth in there now. But yeah, I'm a sales trainer, specifically in the REI space. Been doing it about 6 years. We've got a program called the REI Sales Academy. We help people lock up more deals at deeper discounts.
That's awesome. So it's very simple what he does, guys. Make sure you check it out. I'm actually going to have everything linked in the description below. So anything, any resources, any tools, or any connections that John says will be linked in the description below. So make sure you guys check that out and go check out MidwestRev.com. I mean, absolutely fantastic platform. If you're a real estate investor and you need to lock in your sales processes and learn how to do your marketing, your sales better, this is the guy to go to. You got to make sure you take advantage of it. So John, let's talk about the topic for today. I'm excited. I know you mentioned that, out of all the topics you've talked about this week and previously, like marketing is one of your favorite things to talk about. So glad to have you here to talk about marketing. So let's just have you like hash it out. Content marketing.
Yeah.
First of all, like, how are you leveraging it? What way can active real estate investors leverage it? What do they need to be thinking about when creating content marketing? So let's just go ahead and hash this out.
Yeah. I mean, let's see where to start. Number one, marketing, you go to where the eyeballs are, right? So right now the eyeballs are basically on a lot of eyeballs on social media and online in general.
Mhm.
And when we talk about what those eyeballs are looking at, they love short videos, right? So it's just common sense, really. If I've got a message that I want to get to people, I should probably put short videos online. And it's also really useful online because whoever you want, whatever specific eyeballs you want on those videos, you can find them online and target them. So basically, content marketing is just getting your message in front of the right people at the right time. It happens to be through short video form and other forms, but I do short video online right now.
Absolutely. So I know I don't click on them so that you don't get charged, but I get your Facebook ads all the freaking time. I think I get them on Instagram too.
Yeah.
And I notice a lot of them are just like of you speaking. It's more okay. So here, you guys know that if you've been listening to me any amount of time, I talk about there's two ways to create content. It's produce and document. And so a lot of the videos that you put out, and so a lot of the videos you've had us edit are more documentation videos as opposed to you sitting in front of lights, camera, action, that kind of thing, which
Right.
we produce content for you that way. But the type of content that you're putting out on a consistent basis is like little snippets of you speaking and giving just a gold nugget. I
Yeah.
know I was at one of your boot camps and filmed, a bunch of stuff that you were saying, and we just clipped out little 60-second nuggets out of that.
Yeah.
So maybe talk about how you're leveraging content in the advertising sense and what people need to be thinking about if they're going to put videos out on like ads or pay-per-click and stuff like that. Like, is there
Yeah.
specific messaging that you need to use or a way to structure the video? Just let
Right.
us know
So,
about that.
there's definitely a couple of tips I'll give, but I think a lot of people don't get into content marketing because they overthink it and they make it more complex than what it needs to be.
Right.
Just think about it this way. I'm just going to walk through what I would think about if I was creating a new video. I would go, okay, well, number one, who's this message for? What do I want them to believe after watching this video, and what action do I want them to take? Right. So that's marketing. So let's say I'm a real estate investor and I want realtors. I'm gonna do a video and I'm gonna put it in front of realtors because I want realtors to send me the listings that they can't sell. Right. The beat up house and things like that. So I'm going, okay, I'm going to put, now I'm not a real estate investor, but I'm just telling you how I do it. Say, okay, so number one, I got to have credibility. They got to know I do this thing already, so there's low risk for them. And I got to let them know how to contact me, but I want to let them know all this information in such a way where it's not a commercial. So what we do is we just talk about how we do it or when we've done it before. And we do a lot of seeding. Seeding is just saying what you do without saying, hey, come work with me, right?
Yeah.
So instead of me saying, hey, I'm a sales trainer, apply to work with me, I might start out a video with something like, I was training this group of investors and acquisition agents the other day. And then bang, the same thing's accomplished, right? They know I'm a sales trainer. So let's go back to this scenario. I'm a real estate investor. I want real estate agents to send me their leads. I'm just going to come up with the video on the fly here. I'm probably going to talk about, I'll talk about why I love working with real estate agents and why I was so surprised because real estate agents and investors kind of were like oil and water for a long time. So I'm just making this video up, but I'm going to go for it. I'm going to do like 30 or 60 seconds of how I do it.
Let's do it.
All right.
And I'll clip this out for you and send it to you.
Yeah. So probably something like this. So it's like, I've been investing in real estate a long time, and it's kind of funny because you've got this real estate investing community and you've got this retail real estate community, and they're kind of like oil and water. They kind of are almost opposing forces. Like the retail guys are like, oh, I don't know about those investors, and the investors are like, I don't know about those retail guys. There's an easier way. But a funny thing happened to me not too long ago. A retail agent that I've known for years actually said, John, I've got this house. I can't move it. It's in disrepair. Is there anything you could do for it just kind of as a last-ditch effort? Turns out that's the type of house I'm looking for all the time. I picked it up quickly. I paid cash. Instead of paying out the 3%, I paid the 6% directly to the agent. The agent was freaking through the roof. And their client property is now, that was solved. That's gone. And he got a referral because of it. So, we fast forward 30 days. Agent got rid of a house. He never would have been able to get rid of a house, got paid double the commission and got another referral. I got kind of one of my dream houses in my business, one that I love to get all day long. And now we've established this connection where we're kind of feeding each other all day. So, I just wanted to share this with you because sometimes, you just got to question your beliefs and get your mind right. I thought we were oil and water, but turns out we work together like cogs in a machine. I mean, just beautifully. So, hey, whether you're a real estate investor or a real estate agent, just take a second to step back, look around and say, who else should I be talking to and working with? Because you might find something really cool out there. So that would be, obviously that's not a great video, but that's basically the message I would put in front of a bunch of realtors, because I'd want realtors to see that and go, well, crap, if I have a house I can't move, I'm calling John. He obviously can get the job done, right? So that's an example of how I do it.
It's okay. So the one thing I want to get across to you guys when it comes down to this is, and I see this in all of John's ad videos, is typically he's got a call to action at the top, right? Or not even really a call to action. It's more of like
just a seed. It's just a seed. I say what I do so people know what I do.
Absolutely. Right? And that's what's on his videos, but it's all like value-based content. So he's delivering value, whether that's informational value or educational value, teaching whatever it is that he's talking about. So for there, he gave an example by giving an example of the case study. He was able to teach something to the realtor, like basically how you can work with an investor. And I think that's something that you guys really need to take into consideration, especially if you're doing organic content marketing, but even more like we're talking about actual advertising, which by running a Facebook ad, you are advertising, but you could still do it in a way where you're not directly advertising like that, if that makes sense, guys. I think that's, so if you guys ever like come across John's ads, first of all, don't click on them so that he doesn't get charged unless you're going to take action on it. But
we've got our ads running. We got our videos running right now. You would not believe how cheap it is.
It's ridiculous.
It's for a 1 to 3 minute video for a 95% view, which means they basically watch the whole view or the whole video. We were at 4/10 of a penny.
Whew, that is
4/10 of a penny to get someone to watch your video. That's insane.
Awesome. Yes, and we're running ads right now too, and I'm dumping a lot of money into it. And so, okay, so let's talk about that, John. One of the biggest things that I get, one of the biggest pushbacks I get from active real estate investors, and you probably hear this all the time too, is, Josh, we've tried running Facebook ads and it just doesn't work. And then I ask, well, can you send me, can you allow me to look at your ads and take a look at what, how you built it and the demographics you've added and all that kind of stuff. And then I look at it and I'm like, well, no, it doesn't work. Like, you didn't build this thing correctly. So when it comes to running ads, what are some things that people need to be looking out for, understanding that, hey, you may not actually be the right person to run your ad. You might need to have somebody else do it. But what are some things that you have done and taken into consideration when running ads? Because I know you've got it on lockdown right now.
Yeah. So a couple of things. So building it correctly is great advice, but it doesn't end there. Like, you have to look at the data and tweak it. You're not going to there's no marketing company, no marketing guru who's going to set up an ad campaign once and go bang, done, walk away. You look at it and there's an adjustment period where you're going to adjust. And that's necessary. It's just the way it is to get really good results. So yeah, we run our own ads. We have some good ideas on, it's all testing. It's all data. We test, hey, these could be good audiences. So we'll run one ad to 15 audiences and we'll go, oh, just like every other time, the one I thought would rock didn't work. But these two did really well. So we turn it off. And we just split test. I mean, there's nothing fancy about it. And then once we get an audience dialed in, it's, let's try a couple different videos and see what they respond to. Right. So I told you 4/10 of a penny is what we're running videos at. But we threw 10 videos at them. It was all over the board, but we had one at 4/10 and one at 6/10 of the penny. So that's the video that we're running in that kind of ad group, that audience. It's data. Anyone can look at data. And I think people, when they look at marketing, they're searching, they're reaching out for this marketing guru that has all the answers. It doesn't exist. There's some best practices. You put it in play, you watch, you look at the data, and based on that data, you make a move. And you do that a few times, you start running a pretty effective campaign.
Absolutely. I agree with that. I mean, I think a lot of people, like you said, they just set it and forget it. And this is a bad habit, I think, for a lot of, like, not to bash anybody, but a lot of real estate investors, and maybe not just real estate investors, but business owners in general, where it's again, not just Facebook advertising, but it's also like direct mail. It's also their text message marketing or their cold
Right.
calling marketing, like those strategies. They'll just set it and forget it and not analyze anything. And you just can't make progress with that. How are you going to measure if something's actually working or not? Because there is a possibility that you're running maybe 4 different marketing channels, and that includes Facebook ads, that includes PPC, that includes direct mail and text message marketing. But if you're not tracking that stuff, you don't know what's working and what's not. And so
Yeah.
you don't know you don't know what to let go of, first of all, so you're not throwing money down the toilet. And then second of all, you don't know what to go harder after to get more results from it. So let's talk about that for a second. What numbers do people need to be looking into when it comes to analyzing if a marketing is actually working or not for them?
Well, number one is just to track it. A lot of people don't track it, right? You just kind of say, well, I'm going to put money towards this. And if sales go up, I'm going to assume it's because of that.
Yeah.
And I'll know it's working. So you got to track everything. What do you track? I mean, I do all online marketing. So I do video marketing primarily. So for videos, I track, are people watching them? Number one, how much does it cost for me to get someone to watch my video? Number two, I look at what's the cost per click through. So not everyone's going to watch it all the way through. At the beginning, I thought like, well, that's a bad video then. What I found out is that doesn't mean it's a bad video. Look at the second number. Are they not watching it because they're taking action? They're going, oh,
Yeah.
wow, I want to go check this out, and clicking on my website. So those are the two main things I look at with videos are video views. If they watch the whole thing, they're interested, that's cool. And if they click through and go take action, go to my website, that's cool too. So that's how I optimize for videos.
Yeah.
And then as far as what we call conversion ads, which is either getting a lead, getting an email, or getting someone to fill out an application for our product. It's simple, cost per application. So I don't care about views. I don't care about it. It's how much is it taking me for that ad to get me an application or an email address. And that's what we watch. It's pretty simple. And it sounds like I'm oversimplifying it, but I think it's only because too many people overcomplicate it.
Right. Yeah. And that's so true. And okay, so that's truth number one that I want you guys to pull out of it. And the second thing is, and I always talk about this, but this is a living proof of somebody that's actually doing it. When it comes to content marketing, you gotta have the content driving towards a ROI. So for instance, John, the content marketing that John's putting out, it's not to build a YouTube channel of 100,000 subscribers, right? It's not the purpose of it. It's to drive people to his website to purchase products, to get onto the services and actually pull the trigger, make a conversion. So that's something that I want you guys to pull away from this, is that, all the content that he's putting out, it's not meant to just get brand awareness. It's not meant to just get people to look at John and say, hey, he's super cool. It's actually to pull people in and convert them. And that's the purpose of it. And I think, John, a lot of people think that content marketing is just this thing that, I got to grow an Instagram following of, 100,000 followers, or it's worthless, but listen, if nobody's converting on that, that's worthless. So
yeah, let's talk about that, because that is something I talk about privately with my wife in my home, because I think it's not general consensus, and I'm probably gonna get beat up over this, but
we could clip this out.
yeah, but no, large followings can be monetized like crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like YouTube, if you get a lot of views, you can make a ton of money, and there's all kinds of ways you can monetize a large following.
Absolutely.
However, it's not the be all end all.
Mm-hmm.
My following is tiny, but it's the right people, right? That's marketing too, right? If I got my videos in front of, how many people are on Earth? 7 billion. Let's say I got my videos in front of 1 billion people between the ages of 1 and 6 years old. Hell of a following, right? If they were all subscribers, fantastic. It's not going to do anything for my business, right? It would do absolutely zero, right? Because they're not my clientele. So that means nothing. So I could have 1 billion followers and still make no money. But right now, I think our stats are somewhere around our I'll kind of, when we crested $1 billion, $1 million a year in our business, primarily from content marketing, we kind of shifted a year, 2 years ago, where it went from referral to everything's content marketing driven now. Our list was probably 5,000 people on an email list and 1,000 to 2,000 followers on YouTube. And that's it. Like, that's it. We've got a Facebook group. There might be, to this day, there might be 2,000 or 3,000 people in that group. It's not crazy, right? So it's a very few amount of people, but it's the right people.
Yeah. I love that analogy. And that's something that people got to understand too. Like I say it all the time, that just because you got a large following doesn't mean that you're converting anything. And it could be 1 to 6-year-olds, or it could be a 40-year-old male in Bangladesh that is on a click farm. They could be that kind of person too, that's never going to pull the trigger on something. So, and I tell people, John, too, like, you got to think about, what is your active business? Is it to build a YouTube channel to monetize that large audience, or is it to buy and sell real estate?
Right.
So, building your content marketing around what your actual business is, that's important. And there's, it could spin off into something else.
Right. If I'm a real estate investor, I'm looking for acquisitions. So I want people bringing me deals, whether it's direct from consumer, or a third party like a realtor or something like that. And then I want dispositions, right? Those are the two main, that's where my house comes in and my house goes out. So then I want to also attract cash buyers. That's who I would be targeting and focusing my content marketing for, because if you get a lot more houses coming at you and a lot more people to sell them to, well, that's going to blow up the business.
Right. So let's wrap this show up with that. So we could spend like 2-3 hours on content marketing, just skimming the surface of it. Yeah. But let's talk about that, like dispositions. That's something interesting. You mentioned, content marketing towards cash buyers. What do you look at when it comes to that specific demographic and creating content marketing around them? Obviously, when you want to create relevant content, but what goes through your mind when you're trying to build content marketing specifically in dispositions?
Yeah. So you got to just put yourself in their shoes, right? If I'm a cash buyer, I'm trying to place cash to make profit, right? I might be holding on to properties. I might be flipping those properties, but basically I want a steady, high quality property. I want to know exactly what I'm getting, and I want it to feed my business, right? When a property goes out from a wholesaler and into a cash buyer's hands, that's, it's the back end of the funnel of the wholesaler, but it's the front end for that cash buyer.
Yeah.
So I just want to answer those questions. What videos can I make that would make them feel comfortable with me? That know that I've got houses I'm getting rid of, that know I produce a high quality product, that know I've got high ethical standards. Those are the people I'd want to attract. So if I'm making videos, and again, I'm just off the top of my head, probably going to do some case studies and things like that. Mm-hmm. I'm probably going to really make it a point to do some videos about when the ads hit the fan, and maybe I goofed up, maybe it was my fault, but how we fixed it and got through those things, because that's going to demonstrate, hey,
I like that.
I messed, I can goof up. I'm human, but we operate with a standard of ethics that we always make it right, and that we're committed to that. That's going to make an end buyer feel like, okay, they're not full of it, and they're vulnerable, and they make mistakes. But I know that even if they do mistakes, and chances are if we do enough business together, there's going to be mistakes, they're going to do their part and they're going to do the right thing. Now I'm feeling warm and fuzzy, right? So you just
like that.
You want those types of messages. That's what I'd be putting out there over and over again.
Yeah, so I like that last part. And I always use the analogy of, John, I'm not sure if you've seen this movie before, but the movie 8 Mile with Eminem, right? So like at the end of the movie, anybody that's seen it, if you haven't seen it, I'm going to explain it to you. So Eminem, the rapper, right? Yeah. And the entire movie is about him, battling it out with this other guy. And at the very end of the movie, the last rap battle, Eminem just breaks out. He goes first. So they're supposed to take turns, and he goes first. And he just lays it all out in the line and just tells everybody the negative things about him, the things he gets made fun of, his weaknesses, and all this crazy stuff. And by doing that, he did not allow the opposite rapper, because the entire rap battle is to just bash each other. Yeah. But he didn't allow this other rapper to bash him, because Eminem already said everything about him. And I think that's like incredible. Like the context of that is really, really good, because you're showing people that you know what you effed up on, and now you've created a solution for it, and you've learned from it, and now you can actually show that to your target audience. You could do that through content marketing. So I think that's a really good idea to do that. So, man, John, again, we could spend so much more time on the phone. I wish I had you for longer, but unfortunately I got to let you go. I got to be, cognizant of your time. We've gone a little over time, and I appreciate you being willing to do that. But I do want to give you the opportunity, if you have anything coming up, or you just want to send people right back to the website, that'd be cool. But if somebody wanted to get in contact with you, learn more about what you got going on, what's the best way to make that happen?
Yeah, so 2 websites. One is MidwestRev.com. That's our REI sales training site. So if you're a real estate investor and you're interested in that, there's all kinds of free videos we put out there on, just tactical type stuff to get more deals. But then also, if you're interested in the marketing stuff, all of the videos are there. So you can also see how we create our short videos. And then we've got 7-Figure Coach. It's the number 7-figurecoach.com. And it's primarily for, I help other coaches start businesses, primarily sales trainers, because that's what I do. But on there, there's going to be some information about, again, content marketing and how we find our customers, because I believe so much in there. So I think there's some good resources to look at just to grab whatever you need.
Absolutely. And guys, again, I will have all of that linked in the description below. So make sure you check that out. Connect with John, get on these platforms and learn more about what he's got going down. It's just absolutely incredible stuff. And even if you just follow him on social media, he puts out a lot of organic, valuable content that teaches you guys. I mean, John puts out a good amount of content every day that I see, and I'm like, man, just learn stuff all the time from this guy. So John, man, I appreciate you taking time out of your day. And I know you got a lot going on, a lot of crazy stuff going on with all these webinars that you're on and all that. Just a popular dude right now. But I appreciate you taking the time to be on here and spending some time with me. So I look forward to having you back again soon for round 3.
Sounds good, Josh. See you soon.
All right. Thanks, guys. That is going to be doing it for today's episode of the REI Marketing Weekly. Appreciate you jumping on and joining us today. Again, make sure you do go check out rei.video. Use the coupon code FIRSTVID for your 50% off your first order. So you film your own videos, and then you get to send all that over to us, have us do the heavy lifting for you, produce it, send it back in 48 hours, unlimited revisions. What more can you ask for? So that's going to do it for today's episode. Appreciate you jumping on and joining us today, and we'll catch you on the next one. See you later.